Click the watch live link and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning.
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling Hit segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the watch live link.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. All right. A tangled mess. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Didn't get them tangled in time, didn't get them out in time, and it's just a mess. That's my excuse to buy a new pair of headphones, because I've been wanting to buy a new pair of headphones for the last couple weeks. And so I thought, you know what? Hey, self, buy you some headphones. And so I probably shouldn't say this out loud. I ordered myself some headphones. So hopefully I'll get them in the next week or so. I mean, these have gone so bad that the foam like the stuff for the phone is coming off, like it's peeling off. I love Sony headphones. I love them. They're phenomenal. So 833-212-1017 is the number. I read an article over the weekend, and I thought I would share it with you. The article is something written by Vanzetta Penn McPherson, and she lives in Montgomery. She's a retired U.S. magistrate court judge, and she wrote an article that struck me profoundly. And so what I thought I would do is I thought that I would tell you about it, but rather than tell you about it, it just made sense, and I have time. I'll just read it. And every now and then I might read something, but this time it struck me. And with that, I want you to understand and hear exactly what she's saying. The topic is interesting. It comes at such a poignant time with, how do you say her last name? Gauff? Coco Gauff? Coco winning the U.S. Open. And hearing the announcers say and twist things to make it be something important, but not really that important. And so I'd like to just read this. And the title of the article, which you won't find because it's at a private magazine, Purging the First, Recasting Black Achievement. 4 centuries after our arrival in the world's most industrious nation, citing African American achievers as the first black is more regrettable than desirable, more embarrassing than prideful, more abominable than honorable. Yes, first refers to the act of coming before all other blacks in time and order. It describes acts that are foremost in position, rank, or importance, but it also suggests that the black achievement was theretofore impossible. It is time to purge references to the first as an honorific label of African American achievement. The moniker is so fraught with adverse historical baggage and qualitative irrelevance that it should be banished to linguistic perdition, to fester alongside words like sissy, in icebox, floppy disk, and old maid. Its several iterations justify an unceremonious retirement. First, stripped down to its core, the real meaning of first black is the loosening or overcoming of Caucasian restrictions that are due mostly to white supremacy. Arguably, touting oneself as the first black is implied homage to the graciousness of the majority for opening a racist door or lifting a prejudicial ceiling. Absent these doors and ceilings, the first black to achieve any status of moment could have done so 100 years earlier. Brandishing the first also implies that prior to it, no other African American was sufficiently prepared, talented, educated, skilled, or otherwise capable of the task or deserving of the status. Why else would so many whites have achieved the status sooner? In truth, the first is often a contrived probity hoist upon a fictional platform of white superlativeness. Consistent with the presumption of white supremacy, the subliminal message of a first black label, they are that 1, African Americans need more time and training to reach heights of achievement. 2, mingling with whites accelerates black achievement. And 3, whites should decide when blacks are entitled to recognition for their achievements. Are any of these messages valid? Were the players of the Negro Baseball League really less skilled than Major League players? Was Training Day really Denzel Washington's first Oscar-worthy performance 25 years after the Harlem Renaissance, after Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and Claude McKay? Were Gwendolyn Brooks in 1950 for poetry, or her nephew, James Allen McPherson, in 1978 for fiction, really the first blacks who wrote objectively meriting a Pulitzer favor? Seriously? The point is that merely becoming the first black to join the years-long pantheon of whites is not a presumptive indication of unprecedented black excellence. Okay? The greater likelihood is that the evidence of one more hole in the wall of exclusion. The second adverse iteration of typical references to the first is this pejorative racialization of black achievement. Have you ever noticed that African Americans who are the first persons to invent or introduce a thing are never branded the first? If no one has ever done it, the black who did it first and is the first to do it noted without racial heralding. In those instances, the effect of racial disregard, if not the intent, is to dilute the achiever's accreditation. In fact, when a black person is the first in his or her race to eclipse a previous white achiever, the act can generate press and labeled racial taunts, race riots, and presidential censorship, like Jack Johnson, death threats, like Hank Aaron, contrived persecutions, like Muhammad Ali, and years of delegitimization, like former President Barack Obama. Moreover, if an unprecedented black achievement, the very first, is a societal transformation rather than an individual enhancement, watchful majoritarians may try to usurp credit altogether or outlaw the fact. Consider jazz. A black first whose musical element reflects Afro origins, but whose invention is assigned to a white male. Or the slam dunk. You may not have known it. It was banned in college to nullify Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's advantage. The black creators of those transforming developments are seldom, if ever, accredited as first. One of the most incredible censorships of a black very first is Rolling Stone's 2008 designation of Jerry Wexler as the inventor of rhythm and blues. Definitely untrue, rather than its labeler, which is probably untrue. It is one thing for African Americans to acknowledge and embrace the first as self-evident historical fact worthy of documentation. But historical accuracy is not the accustomed motivation. Instead, the first black is most often cited to aggrandize the achiever in resumes and introductions and award ceremonies. I mean, against an overwhelming backdrop of single adjective first, the adjective being black. Many acts of contemporary African-American achievement, some of which are commonplace or unremarkable, are articulable only as long winding trains of unrelated adjectives and conditionals. And as a result, we're invited to heap praise upon the first black lawyer from the north side of Bobo County, Georgia, born to a single mother before 1990, or the first black female Democratic county commissioner who won a full term in an off-year election. You know, in recognition of the countless African Americans who languished in the days when hope, unborn, had died, whose creations as chattels were misappropriated and whose artistry and industry were ignored, let's cease this irrelevant head count. After all, 400 years into this acclaimed democracy, the first black anything these days signals shame more than it signals African-American esteem.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and I am Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee so much. I love how rich this city is in history, and I love how rich we are in the moment. I think that every day there's something new that our city accomplishes, but it's important that we keep remembering that it takes a village to be great, and I know that we can be great as long as we all stick together. So why not stick together and join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The key slides into the ignition. The engine rumbles to life. My hand grips the throttle. New gear for my ride. The road, my invitation. The sound, the smell, the exhilaration. I am one with the bike, and the car in front of me suddenly turns in my lane. Motorcycles are everywhere, but too often go unnoticed. Please, always look twice, be alert, and share the road with motorcycles at all times. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
This is 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and I am Milwaukee. Truth in the Afternoon is a platform where you and I can share our love, our lives, and our journey together. That is why, as a fan, your perspective is key. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Above is Martin Lawrence's character, Dragonfly Jones, to all Bear fans. Silence. Okay. Did anybody have a shock that the Bears lost to the Packers? I don't understand people. Packer fans get weird because they win, and then it's good, and then they want to lord it. And then when they lose, they don't want to talk about it. So I don't really understand. And y'all know y'all only happy because he won. But had he lost, y'all would have been ready to trade him. Get rid of Jordan Love. Yeah. He did a great job yesterday, by the way. Jordan Love played a phenomenal game. So I applaud him and the Packers for winning. I'm kind of glad. It was as if they never had another quarterback. That's what I'm glad about. So he did a great job. Do I sound mean? Yes, I do. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I'm torn about whether or not I want to go down a road and talk about some things and places where I see society going. And I know people are going to tell you sound like Sherwin Hughes. That's how Sherwin Hughes sounds. You sound like Sherwin talks like that. Because he always mocks me and says I talk some kind of way. So, I'm just saying. So, I'm trying to figure out issues we have in society. And I know I'm going to make people mad. And I know I'm going to upset people. But when I'm done with this, I got some other stuff I want to talk about. LT, I don't know if you were reading my mind, but that was my other complaint. It's like I'm on day 2 of Pop Off Friday. Like I'm on day 2. So I'm just saying. So I want to talk about the feminization of society. I want to talk about the overrunning of feminine things and women as it relates to issues that we have in the community that aren't being addressed or fixed, and attributes that have been taken on in the community because, well, I don't really know. And I guess that's what I want to ask you about. It seems that we have demonized certain things in the black community and in society at large that has caused the black man to be severely marginalized. I don't think you can talk about LGBTQ plus anything in terms of marginalization. Before that, for centuries, the black man has been marginalized. It seems the black woman has always been lifted above the black man, has always been the purveyor of strong homes, strong families, right? It used to be the other way around. But when we have a government that creates a system that causes black men to not, or any men, period, to not be in the family because it's more economically feasible for women, then men are gone. Some of the things we used to say and do in society, people have gotten so sensitive that we've lost, I think, an edge in this city as it relates to how we step up and solve certain things. That white society has promoted the black woman to be the end all, to be all, and the savior of the black race, that men were simply brushed aside and not looked upon as being worthy of anything. Women's groups, women's everything, business, everything. I always found it fascinating that men could never join women's groups. I've never heard of a women's group argued about to be open and allow men in. But I've heard and been part of numerous men's groups where women have complained that they couldn't be a part. Let me give you an example. I was at a dinner, more so a luncheon, thrown by a local D9 sorority. And I don't really care if I get in trouble. I'm not going to say their name. I was there. I came up with an idea, and I've said it before, and I'm still doing it, that I want to get together with all of the male fraternities in Milwaukee. Divine Nine, Prince Hall Masons, and let's have a discussion with men about what's happening in this city and what we're going to do to step up and be leaders. I'm sitting at a table. Literally, I'm the only man at the table. First thing a woman said, "Are you including women? Why aren't women included?" I said, "Because you're not a man. You're not included. It's for men only." But why does it have to be men only? See, that's the problem with the world today, because men keep doing. I said, no. I can't even get in your sorority. I can't get in any of these women's leadership groups around here because they're for women. And you will argue that men have had the upper hand for so long and all that, right? So you deserve your own, right? Yes, we deserve our own. Why can't men have their own anything? It doesn't make you sexist. But I sit and hear women say, men are terrible, men are toxic, men do all these things wrong, they're just terrible. But let a man say one thing, and oh my God, you're offended. I find it interesting how out of your mouth can come offensive, demeaning, hurtful, mean things, but yet your ears are hypersensitive to the same thing. That makes you a hypocrite. And so where do we draw the line? Well, 833-212-1017. Where do men step up? Every time we try to do something, we have to do it under the guise of what are women going to think. Do women ever do anything and think about how men are going to think or feel? I think not. And watch this. I have no problem with that. I just want the same thing. I don't think that's too hard, is it? I just want the same thing. I want to be able to be a man, do manly things, manly deeds, and not get called out because I didn't include a woman. Because I want to hang out with the guys and not the girls. But every time we diversify something, they find a woman, even white or black. Black men are at the bottom of the totem pole for everything in society. Even when we do well, we don't. Like, we can't win. Now, that's a defeatist attitude. The confident, arrogant side says, I'm a man, and if you don't like it, too bad. I'm a man, and these are the things that I am, and if you find it toxic, don't come around me. But I figure if I'm not calling you out of your name, beating you, slapping you, or pushing you around, what are we doing? Because I'm not. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the I see, I didn't know if I was going to say the award-winning or the new. How about the new award-winning 1017 The Truth? How's that?
Hey, whatever you want to call it, it's your prerogative. You know, this is a good subject, by the way. I do feel black men, they should have their own separate thing, because men think differently just as well as women think differently. And I think there should be a level of respect on both sides. So both can, you know, have a dialogue, and they both can understand each other points, because it's too many times the woman might say something, you know, or a prime example, the black man might say something, and then everything gets lost. So now it gets to the finger pointing and the blame game, and I think that's what kind of mess. And if black men are going to be black men, be that black man, stand up, deliver it, and don't care what nobody thinks. Even if you might have to hurt some feelings, but as long as you have that understanding, it should be fine. But when it goes to the point where it's starting to be disrespect, you know, prime example, they say black women having kids out of wedlock, but majority of people's parents was born out of wedlock, or some of their parents was rape babies.
But
or
wait
whatever.
a minute. But if it's a harsh truth, how is it disrespectful?
Well, well, it might be a harsh truth, but the thing is,
what?
Even it might be a harsh truth, but it's going to be a harsh truth on both sides.
So,
and they're not disrespecting their great grandmama or their mama, because some of their grandmamas raised them because their real mama didn't want to be bothered.
But how is it disrespectful to even say that? Like, why would somebody get offended at the truth?
Well, the thing is, why do you have to say it? Because at the end of the day,
Why
you're
can't
gonna
I
love
say?
them
See,
unconditionally.
therein lies the problem. Hang on, Al. No,
Okay.
I want you to help me with something, because I don't understand. Why is it that I can say what I want to say until someone else's ears are hypersensitive, and then I have to check myself? Can't they recognize the fact that they are in fact sensitive?
Well, you can say that as long as you can say that about your own.
But that's my
all I'm
point.
saying.
I have to know that about me first before I can say it. I think we're so hypersensitive that we don't even hear what's like. Many times women don't hear what they say out of their mouths, things that can be perceived as being insulting, demeaning, downing men, trashing men, all that, because they lump us together with the bad experiences they've had. But then if we say something about a woman, they're ready to go complain.
Well, I just think it should be a certain level of respect, and it can't be do as I say, not as I do.
Okay.
That's the only way. That's the only way we can move forward. You know, we can't say one thing as saying, you know, it's the truth, but we dealing with the same truth every day when we say I love you, mama, or love you, grandmama, or you know, or vice versa, or say, you know, that's the reason why black men don't want black women and they going to white women. You know, things get distorted, but it's kind of hard to sit here and say everybody have to have the same level of respect, because we know it's not going to be that, because one is going to say one or the other. That's the only way I can say it. But we got to find a common ground one way or another.
All right, thank you much, Al.
Yep.
833-212-1017 is the number. I know I'm way behind, but I'm going to talk to Rob. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dr. Harris. I just want to say my opinion. I think you're right in a little aspect that women, especially black women, they want superiority, and I blame the church for the separation between the black man and black woman.
Really?
Because yes, because a lot of times in the church they say that the man is supposed to be a provider, and he's supposed to be a protector, and he's supposed to be all this. And the woman looks at this. This is coming from a pastor who may be married, and he have mistresses that he's not talking about. So they look at this and they say, this is what I'm supposed to have. You can't give me this. I'd rather be alone. And also it comes from a lot of the men. Black men are alpha males. They want to be so-called, and the woman's supposed to bow down and be submissive. That's also in the church. And then they say that a lot of black males are hypersexually active. So they want to have all these women, and they don't want to step up to the plate and settle down to one woman. And then the ones that are single and then have these babies out of wedlock, they don't want to face up to the plate and settle down and pay child support and keep in the family. So therefore, they go out and be players that they're not realizing when they get old, and the problems they created, they're going to be single and lonely in a nursing home, and ain't going to have nobody to come take care of them. That's just my opinion.
All right. Thank you much, Rob. I don't know if it's so cut and dry, though. I don't know if it's that cut and dry. I think there's enough blame to go around. But when we look at society today, it's clearly feminine. I mean, forget the church, we've thrown Christianity out. We have rejected every, what I perceive to be positive part of the church, to the point where we said marriage is a white Anglo-Saxon thing of, it's European centric and we shouldn't do, like, all the things that built up strong black families, we reject. And now we're complaining that I can't understand why, kids are running around and ripping around and acting a fool. Well, you've got mothers and fathers who didn't have fathers. And so that in and of itself, and I got into a huge argument when we first started this radio station because, a truckload of women got mad at me because I said, and I'll continue to say, a mother can be a absolutely phenomenal mother, but they will never be a father. Ever. And the first thing I heard was, well, yes, we can. Well, how? Many women don't have the traits and the personality and the masculinity to be a father any more so than a man has absolutely none of the sensitivities, the compassion, the caring that women have. It's not a negative, it's just different. But we also see what happens when children are not balanced and at least see. I'm not saying married. I'm not saying live in the same house. I'm saying have two parents that they can see that present themselves as who they are so that they can get a balance of understanding this is how men are, this is how women are in general, and have conversations and all that. We're so one-sided to feminine that we've rejected so many things that now some things that used to be important in our community are not, they're just not important anymore. You don't have to be married. You don't have to, if you have children, take care of them. Rob was right. And then where do we go then? And what we have are sensitive, hypersensitive ears with hypersensitive feelings, all, no disrespect, feminine traits that now our boys that are driving around creating havoc through the city are actually killing people and themselves because of an offense where nobody touched them, but somebody said something, made them feel a certain way, and they responded by killing someone. I don't think that's us. There are too many strong, upright black men, strong, upright black women that can turn this community around. I still think it can happen. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. When we come back, I got The Town online. I got Talk and Text line. Hey, this might be you.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level. They came in ahead of time, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window.
It's Dr. Ken from 1017 The Truth for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Are you tired of all that clutter piling up at home or your business? Well, the Smith Brothers Junk Removal is here to make your junk disappear. They are a full-service junk removal and demolition company servicing residential and commercial clients. The Smith Brothers will haul away and recycle anything. Just send them a picture and receive an instant quote. And when you mention this ad on 1017 The Truth, you get an extra $50 off. Open 6 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Smith Brothers serve all of southeastern Wisconsin.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there's nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Wisconsin.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Well, things are still slow along southbound 43, basically from Silver Spring all the way down to almost Locust. The northbound side is going to be slower right around the North Avenue curve all the way up to Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 slowing down at 25th Street through to about Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side backing up basically from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, chance for a light shower or sprinkles with a low of 55. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, chance for showers, high of 66. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Stein. NFL football is officially back as the Green Bay Packers rolled into Chicago and stamped their statement in a Week 1 win, dominating the Bears by a final score of 38-20.
Four-man rush. Love has Jones in stride. Aaron Jones racing to the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Love completed 15 of 27 passes for 245 yards, including 3 scores. The 1-0 Packers will now shift their focus to Week 2 as they get set to travel down south to take on the Falcons. The Milwaukee Brewers suffered a deflating loss on Sunday. Corbin Burns threw 8 no-hit innings, and the team took the no-hitter all the way into the 11th inning, but the Yankees do walk it off in the 13th by a final score of 4-3. Milwaukee and Miami tonight from AmFam Field. Coverage get underway over on WTMJ beginning at 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. The town. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Hey, well, the stuff that you were saying as far as the moral implications of the black community with the parenting or whatever like that and other ills that we got, I'm with you. I feel you. I do. I feel you 100%. Now, this is the rub right here.
Okay.
Where has, like, you talk about Christianity or whatever like that, and I ain't gonna just jump on Jesus now because Jesus is cool and that's my brother. But I'm just saying, what have they been doing? What have they been doing specifically in this time frame to combat that stuff?
Well, what is it that you would expect them to do?
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
Okay.
But what I do know is, what I do know is that I can see the results or lack thereof. Now this goes to a question I have for y'all. Like, what are the organizations, or what are the group of people that are pushing these good things on a moral stature? Because we're not talking about laws or like murdering and stuff like that.
Right.
You can't do that. We're talking about shades of gray. You know what I'm saying? Now, now this is what I'm going to say, and this might be a little bit of hot take, but who I think does a good job of those moral things and moral concepts is the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
As far as it comes to black men and strength,
okay,
and masculinity
right.
in the correct way. You know. Now, I mean, if you can tell me any other organizations or whatever like that that's making a real hard push on it, like hard push. I mean, like when you see it, you see what they're trying to convey to the public hard. I mean, tell me, because frankly, I don't see that on the Christian side.
But that's
I see a lot of.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I see like on the Christian side, and I was, I'm like most black men. You know, so I was raised in the Baptist church. You know, I be knowing what's going on, and I know how it used to be, and I know how it is now. And I ain't trying to knock nobody or how they live, because that's not my business. But I know it's different, and I know some of those concepts that they tolerate now. Personally, I'm not with that for my family.
Correct.
So how can you go into a place of worship and then they put in the tools of masculinity when you see in certain people or whatever that is anti what you're trying to do for you and your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I understand your coded language regarding it. It sounds like you're trying to be respectful.
I'm trying to tiptoe. I'm trying to tiptoe over a minefield and the fact that.
But is it really a minefield?
That I do.
It sounds like what you're saying, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, is that there's a lot of homosexuality and other things in the black Christian or just the Christian church, period. And those are things that used to not be visible there, but now they're visible.
Correct. I just don't want to just say just homosexuality too. You can change that for greed. You can change that for the sexual nature, messing with other people's women or whatever like that.
But let me ask you a question.
A lot of things
because I'm running out of time. So let me ask you a couple quick questions. Number one, isn't that where those people, quote unquote, those people belong? In church?
No, I'm not knocking that. I'm saying what my question is though, what are they doing on the concepts that you just said at the start of your show about being more masculine and the good parts about that?
Well, if I want people to come to church, I can't beat them up.
Like that.
Well, I can't beat people up for coming to church, because if you come to church and you complain, I mean, to be honest with you, one of the reasons why men don't go to church and the church is so full of women is because every time I come, not me personally, but I've actually seen this written in studies and articles, that when men come to church, everybody wants them to be like the pastor and his wife and his family. And you got a wife complaining, why can't you be like that? You got girlfriends complaining, why can't we get married like that? So everything you do, Father's Day, you got to be like them. Mother's Day, you got to be like her. Like, at some point, people want to be who they are and be accepted. But if you come to church every week and the only person that gets all the glory is the pastor, that makes it difficult for men who want to be who they are to constantly be compared to somebody they can't be. They might be more, but they're always in the shadow. And so many just decide not to go.
At the very least, they should what they should do with them in them congregations. That at least the pastor should show some classes or do some like this is how you be this type of person.
But they do. Mine does. Let me. I don't know about anybody else. I know at least 3 pastors that I know of personally that actually do that.
You know, and that's a good way to go too. But maybe I don't know. This is a suggestion throwing out there. Maybe for those pastors or whatever like that. I don't know how it's going in their congregation though. But use it instead of being like just me. How to be like me. How to be just a well-rounded black person. You know what I'm saying? And then that'll take more the pressure off, in my estimation, though.
I appreciate you, brother.
But we need that out there.
Yes,
we need
sir.
that out there, though.
All right.
We need to know how to deal with this. Thank you.
833-212-1017 is the number.
That's all. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all is right. Now's your chance to be entered in to win our one call, that's all 5K. It's Monday. Who cares? 5K giveaway. You heard it right. That's our chance to win $5,000. 833-212-1017 is the number. Be caller number 3. Right now, to be entered into a $5,000, you got to win it, but you got to be qualified to win it, right? So remember, if your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, give Gruber Law Offices a call. One call, that's all. Be caller number 3. 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered in to win this money from the One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Caller number 3, 833-212-1017.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I don't want to say the flu is preventable, but we can make it less severe and spend less time in the hospital. As an underinsured group that's on intimate terms with death, that we don't exercise, we don't eat healthy. Now, of course, this isn't everybody, but it still impacts us more than anybody else. And so I can talk about racism. I think that we have some choices that we can make that we know can improve our outcomes, but we still seem to be so incredibly defiant.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in this Friday night as the Hilltoppers hit the road to take on the Menominee Falls Phoenix. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Calling all dessert lovers. Craving something sweet and delicious? Look no further than Rashida's Creations, your one-stop dessert shop. Indulge in Rashida's Heavenly Cake Slices, available at 48 local stores near you. Or treat yourself to the finest flavors that'll satisfy your cravings. Like Rashida's Strawberry Crunch Crumb or Rashida's Sweet Cake Jars, which are now available to ship across the U.S. Follow Rashida's Creations on Facebook at Rashida's Creations or place an order directly from their website at rashidascreations.com.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. In the 5 o'clock hour, we got the top 5 at 5 coming up, but I'm also be talking about some things that LT brought up. I don't know, he must have been watching over my shoulder or something, about things that are assigned to quote unquote aliens and all sorts of things, when in fact they're in areas of the country where people are not the majority came from. And instead of giving them the praise and the honor, it turns into, it almost discredits black and brown people by saying, well, that's so highbrow, it has to have come from another world. I don't know. We'll get it back. Caller number 3 is unfair to those who listen on the. Okay, well, I'll use caller number. Like, I don't know what I can do because you still got to have time to call. So I don't know if you're not listening. You should just listen live then. Turn on your radio and listen live. No, I'm just saying. Thank you for that, and I'll have to pick a higher number. I'll pick caller number like 10 next time, something like that. Okay. All right. Talking text line 262-595 said he seems to think homosexuality equals less masculinity. It seems. Well, that's his prerogative. He can think that if he wants. Whether or not you believe it's true or not is another issue. But I think what's being said is, in the Christian church, those things are frowned upon, and what happens is we kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, if anything is considered, if sin is considered equal, then you can't say homosexuals have an issue, but liars and backbiters and cheaters and adulterers and all that don't. Like, it's all the same or it ain't none. But we can't play favorites because, oh, look, you do that, I don't, therefore you have a problem. No, everybody got a different problem. But, and I say that to say is treat people with the dignity and respect that they deserve. So in the 5 o'clock hour, I'll be talking about the top 5 at 5 and other fun things. Like, why is it that when we create things, it gets passed off as not ours, or someone else takes credit and it's never us? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The 1017 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Join us this Wednesday as Dr. Ken Harris will be broadcasting live from the Milwaukee Night Market, located right in the front of the 3rd Street Market Hall. Come watch Dr. Ken do his thing live from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. as we celebrate the final Milwaukee Night Market of the summer. The 1017 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by UW Credit Union. They are here for every you.
Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Hey, good morning. Y'all should change this station to the Butt Naked Truth. That was the Butt Naked Truth. Miss DC,
oh my God, love that.
I'm so scared of you. I mean, it's like, you sweet, but when somebody rub you the wrong way, you better look out.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
We didn't know what to expect. We were just left in a hotel.
My mom was doing drugs in the house.
Tay and Brianna spent years of their childhood in homes that weren't safe. They were placed in foster care and longed for a permanent, loving home.
I didn't know what my future was.
I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was afraid of everything.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Brianna and Tay were adopted and now feel excited about their futures.
I'm studying to be a chef, and I really want to travel the world.
I'm going to be a mechanic, and I can focus on my career.
Right now, in the United States, there are more than 100,000 children in foster care, just like Brianna and Tay, who need a family now. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. If you had any comments about my open, about the first, I mean, some people agree, some people don't agree. Some people said, I've always had issues with being the first something. Hey, I'm the first. And I've seen other people have issues with it as well, right? Where other people will downplay. Like, if you're the actual first black person, well, you're not the first person to win something, but are you the first African American to rise above all others? Now, again, it doesn't dictate that other African Americans were not better, more deserving. But I figure if they didn't win and you won, show some love. So I'm kind of ambivalent. I'm torn. I am torn. Let me hit this talking text line. Okay. Derek on the talking text line said, Dr. Ken, this past weekend, the news reported in L.A. and Washington State that kids were being operated on for I'm assuming for transgender operations without parents' permission. Some states have passed that. And I think it's an abomination. Not the act, the fact that a parent is shut out of their kid's life because of something's transgender, but if their kid committed a crime, they would then blame your parent for the kid and make the parent responsible. I think the parent is responsible no matter what, and I don't think the state should come in and take over for a parent unless that parent is negligent. So if you're saying a parent is negligent because their child wants to transition their gender, and telling the parent whatever the parent's reaction is, short of injuring the child, you don't like, I don't think the state has a right to step in and do that. And so if that's true, I think it's terrible, because I think that's a decision that should be made by adults. And that if you want to refer to yourself as something, that's your prerogative. But I don't know if gender affirming surgery is going to, and I may be saying it wrong, and my apologies, is going to, without the parents knowing, I don't think that's correct at all. I don't think you should have an operation at all without your parent knowing, even if it's for your appendix. I mean, if it's emergency, right? I'm about to die and I have emergency surgery as a kid, that's one thing. And even then, the parent is notified and they're trying to track you down. But to do something behind a parent's back, regardless of what it is, that does not rise up where my child couldn't get help for one thing, but because they want to transition their gender surgically, you don't tell the parent. That's wrong. That's just incorrect. And I think that's not showing sensitivity to the parents who have responsibility for that child. Like, I don't know what happened in the world, but we seem to have this thing that children have these automatic rights. Other than life and liberty, a child is they're the responsibility of their parents, whether you like it or not. And so that's kind of scary. That's actually terrifying. And so Avery said, who's covering the surgeries? I don't know. We'll have to dive into that story and look into it. That's an issue for the state of California and the state of Washington. I think if the parent is not involved, children do not have their own insurance. Some places will do it for free. Some places will pay the money, I'm sure, and pay for it for a kid. I just have an issue with another grown adult. Like if a man did that to a girl, you would technically be interfering with the delinquency of a minor or interfering with the upbringing of a child. Like that, you can go to jail for that. Oh, wait, you can't go to jail for that. I guess if the school district does it, then it's okay. School district gets to step in and be your parent. What's that? Parens patriae, where the state becomes the parent? I don't think so. That's just me. But I can't say that because my kids are grown, so oh well. Could I reverse that and have them and not help them as an adult? Could that work? 833-212-1017 is the number.
Number 5.
I should have said is the, and then it said number 5, but then that wouldn't make any sense, would it? So Republicans from JS Online on the Wisconsin Senate Elections Committee on Monday, that's today, voted against reappointing the leader of the state's elections agency, setting the stage to fire the nonpartisan administrator months before voters here are to cast ballots in the 2024 presidential race. The Senate Committee on Shared Revenue, Elections, and Consumer Protection voted 3-1 by paper ballot against the appointment of Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf, despite legal opinions concluding the proceedings were not supported by state law. The issue could advance to the full Senate as early as this Thursday. Wolf is the center of a partisan firestorm surrounding the state elections agency as Republicans lawmakers continue to embrace former President Donald Trump's false claim about Wisconsin's system of elections, tying the nonpartisan state official to the discontent within the GOP over the outcome of the election. Wolf oversees the commission, which provides guidance to nearly 2,000 clerks in Wisconsin, and that guidance is decided by 6 appointed commissioners, 3 from each major political party. Her job is to implement their decisions as rules governing how elections are administered. And amid a push by some Republican lawmakers to oust Wolf, the bipartisan committee split over how to respond to the effort and ultimately failed to put forward 4 votes to reappoint Wolf at the end of her term in June. Democratic commissioners abstained from voting, citing a recent state Supreme Court ruling that allowed appointed officials to stay in office beyond the expiration of their term if they aren't removed. Well, Democratic Attorney General Josh Call and nonpartisan attorneys who work for the state legislature issued legal memos in recent weeks backing the Democrats' argument, concluding the Senate was taking up a nomination it had not received. So that'll be going back and forth and up and down and left and right, and yeah, we'll just kind of see where that goes.
Number 4.
From TMJ4.com, a 40-year-old pedestrian was killed in a hit and run near 64th and Silver Spring this morning. Police say the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office identified the pedestrian as 40-year-old Dion Moore. Investigators said video from the area showed Moore seemingly crawling across Silver Spring at 2:30 a.m. when a vehicle, possibly an SUV, hit him. Police say the pedestrian was found in the westbound lanes by police officers who were patrolling the area just before 3 a.m. They tried to save the pedestrian, but the pedestrian, Mr. Moore, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the circumstances leading up to the crash are under investigation, and there are no known suspects in this case.
Number 3.
So I've been telling y'all I've been working on my. I was type 2 diabetic and I didn't want to take medication, so I kept working out and doing all that stuff. And now I'm back down to pre-diabetic, right? So I'm going to keep working and keep working out, riding my bike, doing all that stuff. And then this story comes out. In Cross Plains, Wisconsin, a man competing in Ironman, Wisconsin, fell ill Sunday during the bicycling portion of the grueling triathlon and later died at a hospital. Ironman Wisconsin said in a statement posted on Facebook that the competitor, whose name was not released, needed medical attention during the bike portion, died at a local hospital after being assisted by a race staff member and an off-duty police officer. The Dane County Sheriff's Office said the man who died was a 51-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin, who suffered a medical event in the town of Cross Plains. Ironman Wisconsin posted in Facebook that it thanks event personnel and first responders who work to provide the athlete with medical support. So I say all that to say I ain't doing Ironman. And I ain't working out that much. I'm going to work out just enough not to be diabetic. I'm going to eat just right enough and then to fall off the wagon once a week like I always do. I fall off the wagon Sunday afternoon. And then I get back on the wagon Monday through Saturday. And that's it. And that's all I'm doing.
Number 2.
This is from CNN Health. I wish I had that sounder from one of my favorite movies. They're back. The U.S. Food and Drug, it's beautiful that most generations have no idea what movie I'm talking about. You know what movie I'm talking about? He's back. You're just saying yes just because. No, seriously. U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave the green light today to updated COVID-19 vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech amid rising cases of hospitalizations. Both vaccine manufacturers say testing shows that their vaccines are effective against EG5, the current dominant strain in the United States. So here's my issue with this. There is zero data in here as to how many people, what the increase was from day to day, and how many people got tested. So you telling me there's an increase in hospitalization means what? I went from 1 to 5, or I went from 5 to 500. And so that's what disturbs me about this. I mean, I get it. So those that are over a certain age and have pre-existing conditions need to hurry up and get it. But I need more information so I can make a informed decision. That's just me. I'm just saying. But fall and winter are coming, and I remind people, get your flu shot. If you feel like you need to get a COVID shot, get your COVID shot, and make sure you track your vitals every single day. When I wake up, I check my temperature. I check basically, how do I feel? Do I feel good? Do I feel bad? What does that mean to me? I check my blood sugar, all those. And I write it down. So when I go to the doctor, I'm like, hey, I was good. And then this day, I kind of keep a loose track of what I eat. So I kind of understand, like, when I'm not feeling well or if I oversleep, when I rarely do, what's really going on with me.
Number 1.
So we were talking about this the other day as it related to money and where to live. And there was a guy that called in and talked about there were no black enclaves of where black people live, northwest side of Milwaukee, all those things. And so there's a story on jsonline.com, the 10 wealthiest municipalities in Wisconsin. And the number one is not what you think. I should probably read and see what it was. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Number 1, the 10 top wealthiest municipalities in Wisconsin. Number 10, the village of Whitefish Bay, or as it's known in the African-American community, White Folks Bay. I'm just teasing. I like Whitefish Bay. Milwaukee, it's in Milwaukee County, and the median income is $134,324. City of Mequon is number 9, median household income, and median is not the average, it's the middle. So that means half of the people are up at the top and half of the people are below it. Does that make sense? So if I had 0 through 100, the median might be 50, and so half the people are from 51 through 100, and the other half are 49 through 1. Village of McQuanago is 8th in Walworth County. Merton, Village of Merton, number 7. Number 6, Wrightstown. That's in Outagamie County. Median household income of $153,977. Maple Bluff in Dane County. Village of River Hills, I can believe that, in Milwaukee County. Median income is $178,750. Village of Lac La Belle in Waukesha, $184,167. Number 2, Shaniqua, or as I like to call it, Shaniqua. It's in Waukesha County. Median household income. Now watch this. Number 3 was Village of Lac La Belle at $184,167. Number 2 is Shaniqua, $231,875. Number one, the most, and what are we calling this? The richest, wealthiest municipality in Wisconsin is in, of course, Waukesha County, with a median income of $239,107 is Oconomowoc Lake. Think about that, Oconomowoc Lake. Is that called Lake Country? I think it is. Guess where I'm not moving? Waukesha County.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Melanie Ricks with her truth.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. A thought that I have on my mind today: you have to put out the energy that you want to receive in return. I've noticed recently that I tend to have expectations for others that I don't also have for myself. For example, if I text my friend, I expect them to respond instantly. But if somebody texts me, I'll take my time and respond whenever I'm good and ready to. So why is it that I feel as if others have to get back to me right away if I'm not willing to get back to them? That's just one minor example. But when it comes to work, let's say you're feeling dissatisfied with your job performance, or maybe with the atmosphere, what's going on with work. Perhaps that you're hoping for a promotion of some sort and things just aren't going the way that you want. Okay, so what are you doing to fix that? What are you doing to work your way towards a better work situation? What is the energy that you are putting toward your job, toward your coworkers? Even when it comes to family dynamics and other relationships, or perhaps encounters with strangers. What is the energy that you are giving to the people around you? And what is the energy that you expect in return? I sincerely believe in the law of attraction, and I very much do feel that what you put out is what you will receive. So if you are someone who feels as if you are not getting the best out of things in life, perhaps it's because you are not putting your best foot forward, and you are not putting the best energy that you can toward those things. The law of attraction is real, y'all. I'm telling you.
Listen to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 p.m.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. You might already know this, but the Truth is home of Milwaukee. I'm done. When you get the first sentence wrong, it really doesn't matter everything you say after that. I'm just saying. Anyway, the Truth is home to Marquette University High School football. The football Hilltoppers are on a roll, looking to make it 4 wins in a row as they take on conference foe Menominee Falls Phoenix. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. this Friday night with pregame at 6:30, so you'll get me, Tori Lowe Show, pregame, and then kickoff at 7 o'clock. High school sports on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Hey, I want to remind you about Pella Windows and Doors. This is the time to replace your drafty old windows. If you've been outside today, between the rain and the cold, like I've already started turning on a space heater in my office. Like it's kind of that cold already. It's starting to get drafty, and you really don't want to replace windows during the dead of winter. And so Pella has a great deal going on. Pay as low as $19 a month per window, $75 a month, patio doors, installation is completed, no mess, no hassle, everything's included, leaving nothing but perfect results. You want to talk about price? Well, visit PellaWI.com today. Remember, it's 6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 9/30/2023. So make sure you check it out. That's PellaWI.com. Bottom line is that it's starting to get a little chilly sooner than I thought. And then somebody said, it's going to be a little warmer over the weekend, right? So they said it's going to be a high of 75. And then I went out, and it was the breeze made it feel like 60 degrees. And I was like, no. And then I thought about, windows, doors. Like, now's the time. I mean, don't get in the middle of the winter and then find out that you need something and then it's too late, because I'm not coming to put them in. The Pella might do it, right? They might check it out. So go to PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017. You crazy, LT, is the number. Tia, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Hello, Tia.
Hello. I was calling because especially for Waukesha area.
Okay. Go right ahead.
I truly believe that kind of a bias, because I work in Waukesha and I work with low-income people, and there are overall in Waukesha, in the surrounding counties, there is a huge income discrepancy there. Like, so there's a dip somewhere. Like, if the 49 through 1 through 49,
right,
that are under that, they are way under that. Like,
okay. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Way over that.
Yeah, but you have to take into account education, position, college, high school, all those things, the type of job you have. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it fair to just say that? I mean, are you saying something out there causes the discrepancy in income?
What I'm saying is there's no need to be biased about living in Waukesha, because there is a large discrepancy. So the median versus the medium income is very different, and overall there are probably more people with less income, so then it's less expensive to live there than you might think.
Okay. I'm still not moving out there, though.
I don't blame you. I'm not moving out there either.
All right. Thank you much, Tia.
You're welcome.
Well, wait a minute. She work out there, but she ain't living out there. So isn't that the reverse, that you all cry and scream about Milwaukee? Oh, that's right. Milwaukee was the last place in the country where we couldn't move out the city. Interesting. Oh, well. So when we come back, by the way, I want to say congratulations to Marquise. He is the qualifier for the One Call That's All 5K giveaway. So I want to say congratulations to Marquise. When we come back, I want to talk about the issue I have with things that are ours being discovered by other people. And so I think it's important that we look at things that have been credited to, weird other worldly places and not taking into account the people that were there when it was done. It'll make more sense when we come back. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I think we got traffic, sports, and weather, and me up next.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Girl, I know sometimes you feel tired and overworked, so it's time to pamper your inner queen at Queen's Palace Beauty and Wellness Studio. They're currently offering personalized and relaxing massages, facials, body polish, and now the Fatigue Feet Fix, which can be added on with any service and includes a foot soak, foot cleanse, foot scrub, foot massage, and a paraffin foot treatment, all while enjoying light refreshments and hors d'oeuvres of your choosing. So get your relaxation on. You know you deserve it. Book your appointment today at queenspalace.net.
The simple click of a seatbelt can mean the difference between life and death. But don't just take it from me.
As a nurse for the last 34 years, I've seen way too many people seriously hurt in crashes because they weren't wearing a seatbelt. Please protect yourself. Spare your family and emergency responders from needless trauma. Buckle up. Every seat, every trip, every time.
A life-saving message sponsored by the U.S. and Wisconsin DOTs.
Dear hero, whoever you are, thank you for donating plasma. My body literally gave up on me. Receiving plasma treatments was, to me, hope. Now that I'm out of the wheelchair, I love going on walks, swimming. Those were some of the things I was told that I would never be able to do.
I have swells all up and down my arms or my legs, my hands. I could have an airway swell, and that's life-threatening. I haven't had any attacks in about 3 months since trying it. It's crazy because it was daily that I'd have these, and it's just gone.
Because of you, I can walk again.
Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Make an appointment to give today by visiting hhs.gov/giveplasma. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told. And we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back. Maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light, and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
We do have an accident on northbound 43 at Fond du Lac Avenue, still blocking that left lane, so give yourself that extra time to get past that. It's going to be a while. So right now from downtown to Brown Deer Road, we are looking at about a 16-minute ride. On the flip side, it's 18 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. And then on westbound 94, we're looking at about 11 minutes to get from downtown to the zoo, most of that happening between the Marquette and Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, chance for a light shower or sprinkles with a low of 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy. Chance for showers later on with a high of 66. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Stein. NFL football is officially back as the Green Bay Packers rolled into Chicago and stamped their statement in a Week 1 win, dominating the Bears by a final score of 38-20.
Four-man rush.
Love has Jones in stride. Aaron Jones racing to the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Love completed 15 of 27 passes for 245 yards, including 3 scores. The 1-0 Packers will now shift their focus to Week 2 as they get set to travel down south to take on the Falcons. The Milwaukee Brewers suffered a deflating loss on Sunday. Corbin Burns threw 8 no-hit innings, and the team took the no-hitter all the way into the 11th inning, but the Yankees do walk it off in the 13th by a final score of 4-3. Milwaukee and Miami tonight from AmFam Field. Coverage get underway over on WTMJ beginning at 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I want to remind you the Black-owned business Give Back is back. We have teamed up with Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed together. The home of Milwaukee Black Talk, we're giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses each quarter in 2023. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth for official contest rules. Contest rules? For official rules. Head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC. I'm ready to go to sleep. And I still got another meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. Is that crazy or what? Never ends. It never. So, going back before the break, I was talking about, by the way, on a side note, I just go from place to place. I cut my finger right across the knuckle. And I thought the other day, it's not too bad. I'll put, just put a Band-Aid over it and that's good. Put some Neosporin on it, Bled through the Band-Aid because it was one of those cheap cloth Band-Aids. They don't, I don't know if they make plastic Band-Aids anymore, right? So I had a cloth Band-Aid, which they're okay, but then they tear up. As soon as you wash your hands, they tear up and start, And I'm looking at it, I'm like, why is there so much blood in this? Like, what? It was supposed to stop. Took the Band-Aid off, and I can open my finger. The cut was that deep. I didn't know it was that deep. I just kind of washed it with some soap and cleaned it out, and I'm like, what? Well, right now, the inside part of it is stuck together, but the outside part is still open. So I'm like, that's going to give me some trouble in the future if it gets dirty. I don't have a Band-Aid. I'm just in bad shape today. Terrible. Going to Hades in a handbasket. I knew that was going. So LT said, I've been mad for decades about assigning credit for the pyramids, hieroglyphs, astronomy, and other things, either in Africa or Central America, to aliens. Yeah? Because I guess in some people's minds, black and brown people are just not smart enough to have created an entire language, an entire way of talking, using pictures. So, but then he added, in order to discredit the people of color who lived and were indigenous to the region. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if we can say that per se. I don't, unless you have some proof, I guess. But by and large, I think many times things were just taken. Like I went to Cancun and visited Chichen Itza, where back in the day, like they enslaved each other. Different tribes enslaved other tribes, or they played games where the slaves played each other in this game, and it was similar to basketball, but it had like this rock, and you ran and you go, and you had to slam it through the hoop, which was made of stone, and whoever lost died. And I was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean died? He said, no, like they killed them all. I said, that's some pretty strong incentive to win a game. I'm just saying. But when you look at the structures that are in Mexico, they are absolutely fascinatingly beautiful. And to know the Mayans and the Aztecs had access to things that intellectually we today take for granted, but in their day they did too. Like the fact that you were able to put together the pyramids in the one place in the world where everyone has come to understand that the oldest skeletal remains of man and woman has been found on the continent of Africa. And so the more technology we get, the more information we start to realize is really important for us to understand and know so that we can exchange this information with our children. I think there's so much crap on the internet that we look at and so many things that we want to negate because it offends our ears, but yet we offend other people, right? We're too sensitive, but then we're mean to other people when we say things that we miss. There is some beauty in this world that exists in places that no one will ever know. But it's like somebody said, the lion will always tell the story other than the giraffe. The winner always tells the story, right? They don't have to tell you how bad they were beat up. They don't have to tell you that they were one bite away from dying, but the lion got the best of the giraffe. Like you never know the story from the loser. You always hear the story from the winner. And that's kind of how American history is. That's kind of how world history is. World history is written by a predominantly white group of men and women who tell the story based on how they perceive the world to be, how they say it happened. Even in areas that where white people were not indigenous to the area, somehow, when it got discovered, white people discovered it. 1988, Wexler actually invented rhythm. I remember when that came out in Rolling Stone. And it's not the first time Rolling Stone, because the same Rolling Stone attributed rap to Deborah Harry, a white female singer. Right? Ridiculous. But yet that's what they did. And everybody went, oh, okay, it's Rolling Stone. They're in the first. No. And there was significant backlash. And I remember because the guy, I don't know if he's still alive, there was a writer at Rolling Stone who was the preeminent writer and columnist, Nelson George, who's a phenomenal writer, by the way, phenomenal. And he was able to kind of negate the fact, he's written books on rhythm and blues and hip hop and all that stuff. And he was able to negate some of those comments people were making because it didn't make any sense. Like Deborah Harry and rap? Like the song Rapture was where rap came from? Ridiculousness. But those are the kinds of things that we've been putting up with. Astronomy and hieroglyphics, pyramids, all those things. Northern Europe, Central Europe, Africa, South America, Central America. We have been, our contributions have been usurped beyond just, well, they didn't do it, we did it. Like, did you actually discover America, Christopher Columbus, or were you in the Bahamas like we believe you were because your statue's down there too? Or that the Spaniards got here 200 years before that. And the French, well, they were already here. All those things. The natives that were actually here, that were indigenous, they were already here. How can you discover something that's already there, that the people are already there? Look what we discovered. We discovered people down in Central and South America. They were already there. You didn't discover them. You found them, but you didn't discover them. But those are the types of things that we have to be careful of when we talk about history and when we talk about the greatness of black people. Let's not diminish things we did first unless we were actually the first. So we talk about Coco Gauff. Well, she's the second person to win no, she is the second youngest person to play and win the U.S. Open. That's it. It wasn't because she's black. The first person to do it, no, the youngest person to do it was one of the Williams sisters, Serena Williams. Not the first black, but the first. Why? Because who was the first black to win the U.S. Open? Black female. I know it wasn't Andre Ashe. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know a guy named Andre Ashe. Arthur Ashe. It wasn't Arthur Ashe, right? And I see your face. Althea Gibson. Yep, Althea Gibson. So, but does that mean she was less than and she's just the first person? Because I'm pretty sure there were other black people who could play golf, who could play tennis better than her. But she just happened to be the first one. Hank Aaron wasn't the greatest baseball player because there were people that came before him. People that played in the Negro League, like, I'm the first black. Well, there were people that could play better than Jackie Robinson. Thank you for that, Brian. Appreciate it. That could play better than Jackie Robinson. So Jackie Robinson might have been the first black to play in the majors, but he wasn't the best. There were other people who were better. And that's all I'm saying. We need to take a step back and stop being offended by things people say, or, oh, I don't like that. We were, or trying to find a reason why something was first. Let it go. Because then when you do something, the first electronic traffic signal created by Garrett Morgan, he was a black man. But he happened to be a human being who transformed traffic. That's all I'm saying. 833-212-1017 to the number. And Brian said, don't forget my contributions to the auto industry. A conversation in a room, I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know. Brian, I think that's a stretch.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Thank you, Truth Nation. Your willingness to share your stories with our community has helped make the Tori Lowe Show a 2-time First Place Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Award winner.
Hey, I'm tapping in from the Milwaukee County Jail. Yeah, man, they treating us real bad up in here, man. I mean, they had us sleeping in feces and urine. They took the batteries from us, told us there wasn't no batteries in stock. I ain't never heard that in my life.
We do this all for you, Milwaukee. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
The Age of Reason took place over 200 years ago. It was a time of amazing scientific and philosophical progress all over the world. Truth, reason, and tolerance thrived and even shaped the Constitution of the United States of America, the foundation of our democracy. But now those building blocks of America, of democracy, are under attack. In just 2 decades, big tech social media billionaires have allowed their platforms to roll back truth, facts, and tolerance, and fill the screens in our homes and in our pockets with lies and hate. Online disinformation and hate affect everything, everyone, everywhere. It splits us apart, hurts our children, polarizes our societies, and is literally leading to violence and terror in our communities. Lies and hate everywhere are a threat to all people, anywhere. Be a part of the change. Help defend the future of our democracy. Go to counterhate.com to learn more.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I wish I had some audio so I could hear how that person sounds. Can't say that on the air, but my goodness. My goodness. 833-212-1017 is the number. Not 8 and cut away to whatever, but anyway. The joy of, I wish, I'm going to have to switch over to YouTube TV. Because the one I got is about to go up again. And I'm like, dude, like, really? So I think I'm going to have to switch over to YouTube TV at home. And you can get local TV on YouTube TV. Anybody know how much YouTube TV is? Interesting. Yeah. It's like cable. If you're costing me what it costs for cable, why do I have streaming service anymore? I'm done. I think I got to switch over to YouTube TV. Sounds like a YouTube. Brian said, oh, yeah, I remember. That's all you got is you told them their cars were ugly? Come on, man. You said that before, did you? LT added, having role models for our children is so important. That when sports were integrated, blacks were not allowed to play certain positions because they were considered too cerebral. We were pigeonholed into other positions. Quarterback, center, pitcher, catcher, shortstop, naming some examples. I'm assuming those are positions that we could never play. As it turns out, these were also some of the most popular, attention-receiving, highest-paying, and most recruited positions. We were considered support staff. So when we celebrate being first, it reflects the discrimination against us and what we weren't allowed to do because of the color of our skin. Some people don't like that reminder. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think one of the things we have to remember is we're talking about when your being first is contrived to the point where you got to twist it and find some little minutia, right? I'm the first person in this county to be elected when there was a such and such and a this and a that. And I'm like, no. No. Just be who you are. And I don't know how to say it. That means I think you're doing a really poor job at supporting and building up your children if you got to be first in order for your children to see accolades in it. I'm just saying. Like Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, first heart transplant, wasn't the first black doctor, but he did the first heart transplant. He did the first heart transplant before everybody. He wasn't the first black doctor to do a heart transplant. That's what I'm talking about. To be first is to be first. We hold up Dr. Daniel Hale Williams because he was actually first, not the first black. Because it sounds like what you're saying is that everybody that was white before you was better than you. That may not necessarily be true. You just got your chance. But when you call me out by then attaching race to it, it's like, well, you wasn't that good, but then you good, you black. So that's how they treat HBCUs, right? Well, it's a good school, but, it's an HBCU. What does that mean? So I don't know. And until another school other than Xavier puts out 87% of all black doctors and dentists in America, until the Ivy Leagues can do it, and the Big Ten and the Pac-10 and all this other crap, until those schools can do it, I'm really not feeling it. That's just me. I kind of agree with Vanzetta McPherson. At some point, you just got to be great because you're great. Like the guy that invented the icebox, nobody talks about him, but it was invented by a black guy. Nobody says anything. Washing machine, all sorts of things. Parts of other inventions that we made better. The cotton gin, all those things. But yet, we pretend like, we don't call it, well, the black guy did it. They were the first, like the first person. That's what I'm talking about. So, I think it's important that we remember that. Just be there, show up, be present, and do the best you can. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. I'll be back in about 22 hours. Hopefully the rain will be gone and we can go play outside. I'll be doing that Wednesday, so if y'all want to stop by and see me doing my show, I'll be out Wednesday from 4 to 6 right here at the Avenue. So come check us out. Thank you, Rhea. Appreciate you. What's your shirt say?
Pauk basketball.
Pauk?
It's Greek. It's from my brother when he played in Greece.
Overseas in Greece. Like Pauk?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Pauk? And then everybody's screaming, it's Pauk, you dummy. What's wrong with you? It's Greek. Okay, whatever. French maybe, Greek, not so much. God bless. Take care. I'm out.